Kotuya everyone. Thank you so much for checking out my channel and this video series on Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi. My name is John and I am a Star Wars scholar. I create content for Star Wars fans like you and me by discussing things like plot, themes, philosophy, and everything else that makes Star Wars so amazing. My hope is to offer you engaging videos with stuff that we both love, and I really hope that you take a moment to engage with me back. In this video, I offer my thoughts on Chapter 6. So let's get to it. Chapter 6 takes us aboard Republic Longbeam, Aurora IX, where we meet its crew of Captain Bright, Petty Officer Inman, and Ensign Peoples, who are tracking one of the anomalies and discussing the possibility of shooting it down. However, the targeting computer cannot lock onto the anomalies because of their high speed, and Inman calculates that, at best, they have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting them. Captain Bright dismisses the thought of reprimanding Inman for questioning his orders, because life is too short. Inman does it all the time, and the nature of the ship requires limiting tension between the crew. Captain Bright describes the Longbeam ships and likens their design to the hammerfish on his home world, paying particular attention to the firing capabilities of the ship. Ultimately, Bright concludes that it would take a miracle from their ship to hit one of the anomalies, and miracles are for the Jedi. Captain Bright decides to fire 6 missiles in the hope of hitting one of the anomalies that is heading for Solar Array 22X, where there are 7 people on board. However, all 6 missiles miss the target. Bright describes the solar array and its function, which is to collect and feed sunlight back into the crop worlds in the Hetzel system. However, the solar array is hit by one of the anomalies so that its central sphere remains, but it is badly damaged. Bright says that they do not know for sure that the people are dead, and that he wants an attempt a rescue mission, even though the danger is very high. He informs Inman and Peoples that he can sense their emotional states through his tentacles, and he knows that they are terrified. However, it is their duty to investigate for survivors. Inman remarks that they are all the Republic, and Bright commands Peoples to take Aurora IX to the solar array. There are 3 basic types of interactions in Star Wars. First, there are interactions between Force users: Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, Kylo Ren and Rey, Obi-Wan and Anakin, Ahsoka and Maul, Revan and Bastila. This kind of interaction is perhaps the most well-known, or at least the most famous, as many Star Wars fans think of these moments first when thinking of interactions in Star Wars. And with good reason. Using the Force, dueling with lightsabers, meditating, or simply having amazing John Williams music playing in the background are all iconic moments in Star Wars. But these Force user interactions have an air of separation in them. They are the truly fantastic element in the Star Wars universe, and while they are most likely to spark the imagination, they are the furthest from our own reality. The second kind of interaction is between Force users and non-Force users. These interactions are largely dependent on whatever set of circumstances is happening at the time. Obi-Wan and Han debate the Force on the Falcon. Vader threatens Piet. Palpatine manipulates the Senate. Anakin and Padme fall in love. In a very real sense, these interactions are when the fantastic meets the mundane, and typically the mundane take their cues from the fantastic. If we cannot be Jedi or Sith, then we might want to be those who orbit around them. But even here, we are left with a strong trace of the fantastic, and so a strong trace of separation between what we read and imagine and what we live and experience. But the third kind of interaction, those between non-Force users, is perhaps the most mundane, but also the most real. These mundane interactions are often cast with some further air of fantasy. Maybe they are 2 droids bickering in a desert, or maybe they are between a blue-skinned alien and his human friend. But for me, these interactions might be the most real and significant and insightful moments we have in all of Star Wars. I have already touched on some of this in discussing the first 2 chapters of this book, with Captain Cassett and Scantech 3rd Class Getter. There is often a quiet heroism in these moments, especially when all, or most, of the fantasy is removed and Star Wars is directly portraying a real human moment to its audience. This chapter is another excellent and memorable installment in this 3rd kind of interaction. While we do have a Nautolan captain, his alien nature only comes into play in a single moment when he senses the emotions of his crew, which is a moment that is unnecessary and could be accomplished without such fantasy. What we mainly have is the acknowledgement of a reality that we can all relate to. There is danger, there is camaraderie, there is duty and fear, and ultimately, there is the choice of doing the right thing even in the face of that danger and fear. This choice to forego danger for what is right is what has linked Cassett and Getter, and it is the same link that links the crew of the Aurora IX. As Captain Bright says, miracles are for the Jedi. But those of us who are not Jedi can still make a positive difference, can still be virtuous and brave and heroic, can still feel fear, bleed, and even die, just like the Jedi. It is our hearts, our decisions, that truly define us, not some supernatural ability or a lack thereof. Captain Bright, Eneman, and Peoples, 3 people in an impossible situation, have decided not to wait for a miracle, but to be the miracle for others. And this is one feature that makes the High Republic era so fascinating. Charles Soule has purposely written his non-Jedi good guys as quietly but still no less heroic than the stars of the book. It is not the Jedi who lead a time period in greatness. Rather, it is in every character we encounter. We are all the Republic, and this is the High Republic, not because someone says that it is so, but because it shows itself to be so. Thanks for sticking around until the end of this video. Please drop a like if you think this video deserves it, and comment if you would like to add your own thoughts. Also, check out any of my other videos in this playlist on Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi, or any of my other videos. And until next time, my friends, stay on target, and may the Force be with you.